Good morning. If I could have your attention, please. Good morning, good morning. If you would, in true Darlington County School District fashion, please focus your attention to the screen as we start our morning.
Hey, I'm Dr. Tim Newman, superintendent for Darlington County Schools, and I want to welcome you to a great start to the 2018-19 school year. Let's get going.
In true Darlington County fashion, that was day one on the job, and it was an awesome experience to be at the Speedway. Welcome, welcome, welcome to 2018-19 school year. I'm so excited about what we have in store, and this is day one of it. So we were about to get started on the program with something different, and I was told very quickly, if I don't do a roll call, there's going to be some upset people in this arena. So, starting with Brockington. Is Brockington here in the house? Brunson Dargan. Kane. Carolina. Darlington High. Darlington Middle. DCIS. DCIT. Hartsville High School. Hartsville Middle School. Lamar Elementary. Lamar High School. Mayo. North Hartsville. Pate. Rosenwald. Southside Early Childhood. Spalding Elementary. Spalding Middle. St. John's. Thornwell. Washington Street. West Hartsville. And of course, the district office operations and maintenance. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So at this time, we are going to have a student-led prayer. I'm going to introduce Mr. Justin Abraham, who is a junior at Hartsville High School. Justin is the captain of the football team, plays inside linebacker. He was very quick to point out inside linebacker because that's the leader on the field. He's also captain of FCA chapter up here as well. Very interested in psychology. He's taking psychology as a junior this year, says that's what he wants to major in. I told him he needs to get a school psych certification and come back and work for us, right? And I was hoping to get a different answer, but when I asked him what his favorite pro football team was, he said, Washington Redskins. But please help welcome to the podium, Justin Abraham.
Everybody doing this fine morning. My name is Justin Abraham. Once again, I'm just going to lead everybody in the prayer, so I ask everybody to bow their head. Lord, we just come to you, thank you for another blessed day, Father God, another beautiful morning, Father God, with the sun out, and I've seen so many beautiful faces today, Lord. I just thank you, Lord, for allowing me to meet new people and meet or see people again I ain't seen in a little minute. Well, Father God, we ask that as we at this convocation, Lord Jesus, we ask that you bless everybody. We ask that you fill everybody's hearts with good spirits and fellowship today, Father God. And Lord, we just thank you for another blessed day you let us live, for letting us get out of bed with food to put on the table and shirts to put on our back, Lord. We just thank you, Lord, for it. And Lord, we ask that you bless every speaker that comes up here, Father God. We ask that you don't chop the words up, Father God, but it comes out flawless and everybody has a good, God bless time, Father God. And we just thank you, Lord, for everything you've done, got planned for us, and what's on the way, Lord. And we love you, Lord Jesus. In your name, Jesus, we pray. Thank God. Amen. Amen.
Good morning. Before we do the presentation of the colors, I'd like to say that we want to start off, or you have already started off this program with the right type of energy. We've just had a student to come and give us a wonderful and blessed prayer. But before they come, got one more thing that's going to set it off right. We're glad to see you, and our sponsors for the district have been excited about your returning. So they want to do something nice for you too. I forgot to tell you this, who I am, I'm sorry. I'm Carlita Davis, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction and Assessment. And so again, we welcome you here. The way that we want to start this off right is to do some giveaways to you. And so I get to start out with the first three. You've been given a ticket, and that ticket is a magical ticket, all right? Yes, if you have your ticket, hold it up. All right, so you're ready. With that, I'm gonna call out the first three prizes for today. If you have the winning ticket, we want you to hold the ticket up, and then you're gonna make your way to the table, because there you'll find your prize. All right, are you ready? Our first giveaway is a $50 gift card from Walmart. Oh, excuse me, Walmart card. Excuse me, it's not. It's from another printer here in our town. All right, so the first prize is a $50 gift card. All right, I'm gonna call the last 5 numbers. Ticket number 51920. One more time, 51920.
If you will make your way over to the table at this exit where the green shirts are, right over here. There's a table over here. They'll take care of you over there where the green shirts are.
All right, our next gift card, Visa, $45 Visa gift card from USA Test Prep. Ticket number 51431. Ticket 51431. And our final one for this segment is a $100 Walmart gift card, and the sponsor, Halligan, Mahoney, and Williams Attorneys and Counselors of Law. The number is 66469. 66469. Congratulations to our first 3 winners. At this time, if you would please stand for the presentation of our nation's colors. They will be presented by our Hartsville High School Color Guard. I pledge allegiance to the flag Thank you. You may be seated. Have a great year.
Good morning. I am Renee Douglas. I'm your new Chief Financial Officer, and I am looking forward to the school year and working with all of you. This is new for me, so I'm getting the hang of it, but we're getting there. So I try to start off every day reading a devotional, and I wasn't planning on sharing this, but this morning's was just a little bit too close to home. It says, "How well do we serve?" And greatness is defined by how well we serve and how much we help others. And the prayer was, "Give us a heart to serve others." And I can't think of a better example of a group of people who serve others than the one assembled here today. Our children are our future leaders, and all of you are training them. There's a very positive energy among our group over here of leaders, and we're working hard to make sure that you have a great year and you have the tools you need to do that. And speaking of leaders, it's my pleasure to introduce the board members who are able to be with us today. And if you would stand when I call your name and remain standing so you can be recognized. We have Ms. Maureen Thomas, our Vice Chairwoman. Ms. Wanda Hassler. Dr. Thelma Dawson. Mr. Charles Govan, our Board Secretary. And Mr. Warren Jeffers. Our Board Chairman, who's going to get up here and speak in just a minute, is Mr. Jamie Morphus. Thank you all for what you do. While he makes his way up here, I'm going to be the true spirit of the finance director, and I'm going to call the banker up here to help me. We're going to give away some more money. Our first prize is a $30 Walmart gift card donated by M&M Printing and Graphics. The number is 52385. 52385. Our next gift card is actually two gift cards. It's a $25 Subway gift card and a $25 Cracker Barrel gift card donated by Curvin Construction Company. The number is 51532. 51532. And the last one is a $100 Visa gift card donated by Compass Municipal municipal advisors. They are financial advisors. The number is 67066. 67066. Thank you very much. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to Mr. Morpheus so he can give y'all some words of inspiration this morning too.
Well, I think I'll preface my remarks. I think those of you that know me, I know my board, they always worry when I speak because they say sometimes I get a little overpassionate and excited and get to rambling and babbling and saying things you might not should say. So it's funny, our new superintendent hadn't been here that long, but evidently long enough to have heard that. So I get a call last night from Dr. Newman and riding down the road about 8 o'clock, and he's talking, and we really don't have any substance. And finally, I get ready to get on the phone. And no, it's just a carrying conversation. I finally said, Dr. Newman, is there anything else? He says, well, you know, you're going to talk tomorrow, right? I said, oh, yeah. What do you want me to talk about? He says, just how things are going, how the board's looking and everything in the school year, and looking forward and so forth. And I said, okay, that's no problem. I'll just a couple of comments. And he says, keep it brief. I said, okay. He says, well, and you know, sometimes you get passionate out here and excited and everything. And well, you know, I said, so what you're saying is you want me to read from script is what you're saying. So he was nice enough to say it in such a way. But truly, I'm excited to be here. And good morning on behalf of the Darlington County School Board and all the school district. I will stick to script as best I can. But I do want to welcome all of our teachers back to school, all of our returning teachers and staff, and a special thank you to you all for your continued commitment to our students and communities. I also want to welcome our first-year teachers and staff for choosing Darlington County as your home, and I hope that you have that for many years to come. I'm sure you have many questions and probably a little first-year anxiety, but rest assured, your questions will soon be answered and your anxiety relieved. I can say that because your board, along with many of our returning staff, has also had a bit of anxiety and apprehension given our recent changes. And I'm talking about changes in personnel and structure. These changes have been good changes, exciting changes. But of course, with change comes anxiety, apprehension, and challenges. But with challenges often come opportunities. And from the brief time we've had to observe these changes, I can say without a doubt, we have many opportunities ahead of us. And we talk about some of the changes, but I'm going to go over a couple of them this morning. First and foremost, we've had a change in personnel. And that change has come in some of the most critical areas of any organization, and that's our leadership. We lost a superintendent and operated for over a year with an interim superintendent, and fortunately we have one of our own, very talented Dr. Boyd, and want to commend him for his performance during an extremely difficult time. And helping us get our district through that transition of leadership. Well, we also went without a chief financial officer, which in any organization is critical, given everything is usually driven based on funding. And as you heard Renee just a few moments ago, we're very pleased to have her, a tremendous amount of talent and experience. We're looking forward to a lot of good things there, some of which we've already seen. Well, we've also been without an assistant superintendent, and there were several other key positions that went unfilled for a period of time. All of those duties were shared among many employees. So I want to sincerely thank all those who pitched in to cover all the responsibilities left vacant over the past year. While I'm sure it was somewhat burdensome, we all worked together as a team and held the district through this transition. And I'm very pleased to say all of these positions and several others, many others, have been filled. And most of you already know and have met our new superintendent, Dr. Newman, as well as our new chief financial officer, Ms. Douglas, and most recently our new assistant superintendent, Mr. Johnson, who we're also very excited about. Well, these are all critical positions, and I have to say, I think we've done an excellent job. We've got excellent people in all those positions and extremely excited about their plan going forward. Which brings us to our second change, our new class scheduling, block scheduling. And I'm shocked I don't have anybody throwing tomatoes right now, and I appreciate that. But seriously, this is the change that I think we won't go into all the detail, but all I can say is I ask everybody here, all of us, to pitch in, to buy into this new schedule. As I said earlier, change is often difficult, but sometimes change is necessary. And with change comes opportunity. So please, let's join the team, let's all work together and make this work. It's a proven system, and certainly we'll have issues and problems, but with the talent and commitment we have in our district with our teachers and staff, I feel confident we'll make it work and work for the betterment of the students, and that's what it's all about. And When we talk about structure, I'm talking about from the ground up in all areas of the district. I feel very confident in the new leadership of Dr. Newman. From the first time we met in the interview process, he's been taking notes and has continued with every meeting we've had, whether it be with community leaders, parents, staff, board, or even one-on-one meetings. He's had that pencil and paper in hand, taking notes, but shortly thereafter, he follows up with a recap of what we've discussed, along with a plan of action. This is structure that I've not seen in some time. It's structure with a clear trail for reference for the future. But most importantly, he's set goals and a clear plan of action to reach those goals. Again, it's something this board is extremely excited about, a vision and a path for seeing that vision come to fruition. And when we talk about vision and thinking outside the box, we got a tremendous amount of talent and desire in our district with our teachers and staff. And I'll just share one example of many, but just to make a point. And as many of you all know, recently, we had our IT department make a presentation on an international stage. I'm not talking statewide or even national, but international. Our very own Darlington County presented to hundreds, perhaps thousands of people from all over the world. Our little rural Darlington County was invited to present to people from all over the world how a small rural district in South Carolina can achieve something most thought far-reaching to impossible. And it was done in such a short time, and that was converting this district to one-to-one technology in less than 3 years. It took probably 5 to 7 years to research, study, and fully implement, but still a difficult task to say the least. But we were asked, we here in Darlington County were asked, how did we do it? They wanted to learn from us. The pitfalls, what we did well, what we didn't do so well, and how we overcame obstacles like implementation, funding, and rollout. But the point I really want to make here is we here in Darlington County can do anything anyone else can do. The reason we did this was simple. We had an employee, like many here, in Miss Sigmund, who asked herself and her staff, when she attended that one-to-one, she asked, why can't we do that here in Darlington County? That was all it took. She said, if they can do it in California, we can do it here. She used the old saying that most all of us have heard, if not us, then who? If not now, then when? And she just did it. They did it. You all did it. And that's what we need to ask ourselves every day. We have the talent and the commitment here in Darlington County, and we can do anything anyone else can do and perhaps better. All we have to do is commit ourselves, work together as a team, and support one another. And now I'd like to add another question to that and saying, if not this, then what? That's the question I'd like to ask you. What? What will it take to get us to the next level? That's the challenge I make to you today. I challenge you to work with this board, this new administration, each other, all in an effort to find the what it will take to make Darlington County the best district in this state and beyond. What will it take to allow every student to grow? We aren't interested in tests just for the sake of taking tests and high scores. We're interested in educating kids, helping every student grow a little every day. Help them progress in each subject every day, so at the end of the year, every student has made progress. So when we break this huddle today, I hope we can rush to the line of scrimmage, working together as a team, all with the same game plan of supporting each other and getting feedback throughout the year on how we can improve as a team every day. Communicate. So in closing, please know, while we feel extremely confident and excited about the new plan that has been presented thus far to many of you and will be reiterated here this morning by Dr. Newman, that no plan will be successful without the buy-in, the full buy-in from everyone. It's up to you to ensure our success and ensure the talents of every member of this district are fully engaged. With that, we have no limits. So again, with that, I welcome you and I wish you all the best year.
Is it on there? Okay. Good morning. I'm Diane Sigmund. I'm the Executive Director of Technology, and it's great to be with you again this morning. And I have 3 more gift cards to give out. And Dr. Newman just shuffled it up a little bit. The first is a $50 Walmart gift card donated by Another Printer, Inc. All right, and the last 5 are 66233. The next one is another $50 Naturally Outdoor gift card donated by Pinnacle Network Solutions. And the last 5 are 51877. 51877. And then my last one is a $100 Visa gift card from Haynesworth, Sinclair, Boyd, PA attorneys and counselors at law. And it is 51388. 51388. That seems like a lucky corner over there. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce our new principals and district staff. At Carolina Elementary, we have Principal Catherine White. Please stand. At Hartsville High, we have Principal Corey Lewis. At Lamar Elementary, we have Associate Principal Melinda Brown. At Pate Elementary, we have Principal Shannon Frazier. You've already met our new Chief Financial Officer, Renee Douglas. We have a new Director of Food Service, Dawn Johnson. And now our Assistant Superintendent of Administration and Operations, Larry Johnson.
Good morning, Darlington County Schools. Again, my name is Larry Johnson. I will be the Assistant Superintendent of Administration and Operations. And let me first say, I appreciate everyone that I have met so far and the warm welcome that you've given me. And I hope to give you those same things over the next 180 school days that we have. You know, we're put here and we have a purpose. And I know my purpose is serving kids. And I plan to work extremely hard to serve the 10,000 plus students that we have here in Darlington County Schools. So again, thank you for your warm welcome. Could I get all new teachers and staff members of each school to stand? All new teachers and staff members to stand. They deserve a round of applause. On behalf of our school board and our superintendent, Dr. Newman, we welcome you to Darlington County Schools. And now for the gift cards. The first gift card would be a MasterCard $50 gift card from Apex Learning. And the winning number is 51544. The next number will be a $45 gift card from USA Test Prep. And the winning number is 52418. $50 gift card from Meridian IT. And the winning number is 66793. And our last one is a $100 Walmart gift card. And the winning number is 51472. Again, thank you. And any new teacher or staff, that this is your first year in Darlington County Schools, could you please stand? Any new? Thank you.
Welcome back. And that was great timing to see all the brand new teachers in this district. And those that have been here are quite the draw for others to come and join us. I need to introduce myself. I am privileged to serve as your Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Dr. Jane Hersey. And let's start it off right with a little giving again. We're going to have four prizes. So get ready to come on down. First one, $30 Walmart gift card, M&M Printing and Graphics, where you too can be the owner of a bright green t-shirt. And the number is 51468. Come on down. There you go. Look for a brand new outfit next week. And now, moving on up, a $50 MasterCard gift card from Apex Learning. And the last 5 digits, 66950. Now there's someone who's excited about money. And now we go with a $50 gift card, $50, showing up from Meridian IT. So again, technology steps forward, and we have 52417. Whoa, okay. And now for the last ticket. And now we have an example of enthusiasm moving across the floor. So thank you so much. It's the way we need to look all year long. All right, but listen to this. It's $100 to Hobby Lobby. Given by Horace Mann, who's been out there for educators for years. So here we go. 52382. 52382. Okay, steps right up the side. Horse behind.
give up. There's more to come. They just gave me proof. Today we gather as one big school district family. We are bus drivers and teacher assistants, secretaries, cafeteria managers, teachers, principals, and the list goes on. But regardless of the role we play, our journey together carries us across the holy ground of the lives of children. Each and every person in this room has their hand upon the plow, and together we make inroads into the hearts and the minds of our children. But research tells us that the one most powerful impact on a child's education is the quality of the teacher at the front of the classroom. For this reason, when teachers lift up their own, it is especially meaningful. It is an honor. Each year, our individual school families nominate one teacher to represent their school. And today it is my privilege to announce the names of our 23 Teacher of the Year nominees. I would ask each nominee to stand and remain standing until each of the names has been called. Allison Gettys, Brockington Elementary School. It's okay, you're good to give her a round of applause, Brockington. Show up for y'all, that's good. Rebecca Watson, Brunson Dargan Elementary School. And if y'all would remain standing until we finish with all the names. Peyton Walsh, Kane Elementary School. Christina Ewing, Carolina Elementary School. Darren McKenzie, Darlington County Institute of Technology. Mr. Electricity, I know. Victor Morales, Darlington County Intervention School. Frank O'Shea, Darlington High School. Nicole Grant, Darlington Middle School. Jerron Sanders, Hartsville High School. Kim Roos, Hartsville Middle School. Tina McElveen, Lamar Elementary School. Kristen Revelar, Lamar High School. Here are those silver foxes. Nancy Fletcher, Mayo High School for Math, Science, and Technology. Laura Privet, North Hartsville Elementary School. Melissa Morris, Pate Elementary. Whitney Williams, Rosenwald Elementary and Middle School. Whitney, that's good. We got to hear a little noise down the Rosenwald so we know Society Hill's still with us. Awesome. Melissa McLean, Southside Early Childhood Center. Amber Atkins, Spalding Elementary School. Good. Lamont Curry, Spalding Middle School. Kim Mack, St. John's Elementary School. Ellen Blackwell, Thornwell School for the Arts. Rhonda Bailey, Washington Street Elementary. Sarah Davidson, West Hartsville Elementary. Here you have 23 that you have honored. Let's give them one more round of applause.
Marjorie Childers. I'm your Public Information Officer. I get the same reaction when I go to the grocery store. Okay, so we're going to start off, I can start off by giving away some prizes. Is that okay? Yeah, all right. I have 3 of them. Our first is a $50 gift card for Walmart from Another Printer. Okay, shaking it up, stirring things up a little bit. Okay, this is it. Look at your ticket. This is it. I'm pulling your ticket right here. Okay? No, not that one. This one. This one right here. This is it. This is it. Okay. Ready? All right. 5, 1, 4, 3, 8. Oh, this is a good one too. $50 ticket here for Naturally Outdoor, and that's from Pinnacle Network Solutions. Pinnacle Network, Naturally Outdoor. That's a neat store if you haven't been in that. Okay, here we go. Ready? Send happy thoughts. Ready? This is it. This is it. Here we go. This one. This is it. Okay, here we go. 5, 1, 4, 5, 3. 5, 1, 4, 5, 3. Woo! Have y'all noticed this is a definite lucky side of the room? All right. One more. Oh, this is a big one. I have a $100 Visa gift card from Hainsworth, Sinclair, Boyd, our attorneys at law. Stirring, stirring. Here we go. Six, 6, 8, 4, 2. 6, 6. Yay! It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. Dr. Newman was selected as the superintendent of the Darlington County School District in March of 2018. Prior to coming to Darlington County, Dr. Newman served as superintendent and assistant superintendent for human resources and public relations in Orangeburg Consolidated School District 4. Previous education roles also include Executive Director of Operations, Maintenance, and Technology Services, a high school administrator, and a classroom teacher in the school district of Pickens County. Prior to entering public education, Dr. Newman worked in the retail sector for 17 years. He worked at Macy's and Belk's store chains as a clothing buyer, as well as an owner-CEO of TNT Music, a music instrument rental chain. Dr. Newman is also an accomplished musician, playing drums professionally for over 40 years in various country, rock, and contemporary Christian bands. Dr. Newman has a bachelor's degree in finance with a minor in accounting from Clemson University. A master's degree in economics from Clemson University. We have a lot of these degrees, it's wonderful. A master's of education from the University of South Alabama. An educational specialist degree in educational leadership from South Carolina State University. And a doctorate of education in educational leadership from South Carolina State University. Dr. Newman has been prominently involved in the state level, serving on technology committees, policy crafting committees, administrator professional development planning, and has served as the president of the South Carolina Association of School Administrators Human Resources Personnel Division. He has also served in his community as the chairman of the Orangeburg County Chamber of Commerce and chair of the K-16 committee with the Orangeburg One Initiative, which brings together business, faith, public sector, and education leaders to chart future growth and success. Dr. Newman and his families recently moved to the Hartsville community. His wife is a special education teacher, and their daughter is an 8th grade ELA teacher in Columbia. Their son is a senior at Clemson University, majoring in packaging science. True to his Clemson roots, Dr. Newman has one dog, Watson, who is named after a former Clemson quarterback. Please help me introduce Dr. Tim Newman.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody today? So far, so good? Yes, I agree. Well, like with any live program, right, we're not really going by script. We can't roll the tape back and fix things. But there is two things I want to talk about real quickly before I move into the presentation. First and foremost, the roll call was an ad at the last minute, and I thought it would be an awesome idea until I left off one other school that I need to mention and acknowledge them in front of everybody. And that is the Darlington County Adult Ed Program. So you get your very own celebration. The other thing too, we had a passing of one of our Darlington County family members that worked in the district office this past week. Somebody that everybody probably in this room knows. And so I want to take a moment of silence not only for that family as they grieve and work through what has happened, but I also want to acknowledge all of the Darlington County School District family, their members that may have passed this past school year, students. Let's take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. All right. So, apparently we have some more gift cards to give away, and I can't move forward until we do this. Is that the next step here? That we've got to give away some more money? Okay, so $25 Red Lobster gift card, a $25 Outback Steakhouse gift card. There's food. I'm a big fan of food, by the way. You're going to learn that about me in just a second. That's by Curvin Construction. The winning number, 51437. 51437. We have a winner. Next, I have a $45 Visa gift card from USA Test Prep. Here's another one of the 66 numbers, 66546. 66546. There we go. All right. I have a $50 Visa gift card from Meridian IT. A $50 Visa gift card. 66609. We have a winner. Maybe that pause for effect helped at the end there. I don't know. We'll see here. And last but not least, a $100 Walmart gift card from Brownstone Construction Group. $100 Walmart gift card. That number, 67034. 67034. Congratulations. Again, I would like to point out that all of the gift cards today have been donated by our vendors. We're very gracious for that. That's why we're mentioning their names. But they obviously want to make it a great start to the year for you all as well. So we're thankful for their contributions. So if you notice on the screen, the word opportunity has been up here. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about where that word came from in just a few minutes. But I want you to keep that word handy, opportunity. And what does opportunity mean to you specifically? I'll tell you what it means to me in just a few minutes. As you heard our board chair talk, focus. What is our focus? One of the things that I noticed when I came in on my visits, I started back in March, visiting with schools, visiting with offices. I tried to get to as many places as I could to learn as much about Darlington County School District. And what caught my attention is focus. That I kept hearing people say over and over, we just need to find our focus again. Everything is here, everything is in place, but we just need our focus back. If we can all be pointed in the same direction with that focus, we know greatness is here. We've already proven that in the past. We've already got the banners to show for it. It's the same people. We just need focus. And so, when we think about focus and success, my definition is success is not defined by the data, but by the culture and processes that are in place that ensure success. If the culture and processes create success, the data will show success as well. Right? So there's a culture to this school district. There's a unique culture to it. And that's what's most important to define and to focus on. Because we can talk test scores all day long. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to talk about test scores in a few minutes and how important they are to me. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the culture in this district and in buildings. And that our kids and our community and our parents see that and feel that and experience that because we are in charge of their most precious, right? We are in charge of the most important things in their lives. And it's up to us to help them be successful, right? Success is defined in many different ways. It can be defined academically, it can be defined socially, it can be defined athletically, extracurricular, but it's up to us to help our students be more successful. And that's what our parents and community expect from us. So when we talk about culture, what do we stand for? What does your particular school or department or board stand for? What do we want to be known for? What do we want people to say about Darlington County School District? What do we want them to say about your individual schools? So when we talk about the culture that we're trying to develop, we have expectations, right? We all have expectations of our kids and of ourselves. And as faculty and staff and a team, right? We're all a team. We have expectations of ourselves as well. And expectations drive behaviors, right? So the expectations that we have of ourselves and our faculty and staff and departments, they drive the behaviors that are in our buildings and how we interact with each other. And behaviors drive habits, and habits drive the future. You're starting to see this organization process here. I'm a very sequential person. I am a creature of habit. Everything's kind of in a box for me. We need people like that, and we also need very artistic people to keep us grounded for the time, right? But I can tell you, the way I step through this will be sequential. A lot of the concepts and ideas come from a gentleman by the name of John Gordon, who some of y'all may have read the Energy Bus book, right? Energy Bus, some of y'all may have done a book study on it. And so I'm going to be talking about some of the framework from John Gordon, as well as some of my peers that I'm going to show some video clips of that just kind of bring home the points that we're talking about. But not only culture is so important, but vision and purpose, right? And so, why do we do the work we do? Why are you here today? Right? Is it because you had to be here? Because it's the only way that you could get a paycheck this week? Or are there other reasons why you're here? Because I believe everybody in this room is here for other reasons. I believe we're all focused on one reason. Why are we in education? Why did you choose to be in an organization that focuses on kids and their success? What is important inside of you that requires you to work to help children be more successful? Right? That's what the start of the year is about. That's what the focus should be of. I got to get re-energized, and I got to remember why I do this. I do this for kids. I do this for that one child that I may impact the rest of their life, that I won't know about today, and I may not know about it at the end of the year, but years later I'll hear about it. Communication. So we need to make sure that we've established our culture. We need to make sure that we have a vision and purpose. And then we need to be able to communicate that. We need to be able to communicate it internally, and we need to communicate it externally, right? We need to be able to communicate within our buildings and our district and how we do things. And then we need to be able to tell everybody else what we're doing. See, a lot of times great things are going on in our schools, but other people don't know that, right? And so every year something new and exciting is happening. We got to make sure to let everybody else out there know about it, because there's plenty of negative to go around, right? Especially for public education. There's plenty of negative out there. So let's make sure we're honoring and telling them the awesome stuff that's going on, the wonderful things that are going on in your classroom. This is big. Communication builds trust, and trust generates commitment, and commitment fosters teamwork. Well, communication builds trust. This is my first time communicating to you all, right? So I can't just automatically assume the trust piece is there. I have to earn your trust, right? I have to earn your trust, and I have to make sure that you know I'm communicating and we're communicating so you can stand on solid ground with what I'm saying, and you can repeat it to others and know that it's coming from me. So it's incredibly important from here out that you hear everything. So we've been working on things all summer long. I started with a board retreat, and very thankful for the board and their commitment to this school district. And the retreat that we had, where we all got together and said, here's the things that are important to us. Here's what we're hearing from our communities and from our teachers and from our schools. And so it started there. And then we met with senior leadership at the district office and said, okay, what are we hearing? What do we need to work on? What needs to be better? Not what can we mandate down Or what can we tell everybody? Or let's come up with something new just to come up with something new, because we know we all have to change things every year, right? Just when we get going good on something, let's change it, because that's going too well at this point in time. No, as a senior leadership team is, tell us what you need. How can we support you? How can we help you in the buildings and in the classroom? Then as principals, we've been planning with your principals all year long, ready for today. And so that whole process has been communication. But you all are just getting a chance to hear some of these things, okay? And so hopefully what you hear today will clarify some of the things that you've already heard about, and that you'll be able to talk to our community members and our families about that as well. So you probably need to know a little bit about me to figure out who is this guy that I'm supposed to be hanging my hat on to listen to help children be successful. And you heard a little bit from Audrey about the degrees and all that kind of stuff, but that's not who I am, right? That's a title. My title is superintendent. My degrees say I went to school for something, but that's not who I am, right? We need to be focused on who our kids are, right? Sometimes labels get in the way, good or bad, but we can't pre-label. We have to say, who is this child in front of me and how can I help them? Nothing about the labels. For me, first and foremost, it starts with faith. I don't claim any kind of success without first honoring God. And I'm not afraid to say that in a big arena like this. I'm not afraid to tell people that I'm not in control of everything, and that this moment in time is not because of me. This is because of God saying, this is where you're supposed to be, and this is where you're supposed to be. I'm not afraid to say that I pray for our kids every morning when I get up, and that I do my quiet time and devotion, because I know if I'm prepared that way, I'm prepared for the day. And I can handle anything that is thrown at me. Now, people in public education say, I don't know if you can talk about that. I don't know if you can talk about your faith. Well, let me tell you something. I can talk about my faith. Okay? And the number one place for us to get volunteers to help us, the largest pool of people that are willing to help our schools, and where all our kids are a lot of times on Wednesday and Sunday, is in our churches. So how in the world can we keep them at arm's length? We can't. Now, legally we have to do certain things, and I'm going to make sure we do that. But I can promise you this. Come on, church volunteers. Get them together on a Sunday. Let's go. Help our kids with us. Help us message. Second priority, family. Right? It starts first with my relationship with God. The second is my family. Thank God for my wife, who has brought me through many, many, many things. Keeps me balanced. We're the yin and yang, the perfect yin and yang. I'm this way and she's this way. Keeps me grounded. We have a daughter who you heard is a teacher in Columbia, and our son-in-law and our granddaughter, who you might catch a glimpse of here in a second. We have a 3.5-year-old granddaughter who her Papa T is her favorite person in the whole wide world. I don't care what anybody else says. That's what she tells me, and I believe it. Our son, you heard, is a senior at Clemson, but most importantly, I've watched him grow into a young man. And I'm thankful that the fear that we all have as parents from age 0 to 21 and all the things that can happen to him, that he's made it through it. And he's made it through it as a young man who's devoted, who has his faith, and that I can't put the safety net out there anymore. But it felt pretty good on his 21st birthday that he wanted to have a beer with Dad instead of all of his friends back in the college town. So I'm just so thankful for that. And again, I'm not going to let anything else get in the way of family and faith. Those are my top two. My next is work. This is what I do. This is what I'm committed to. This is where I've been delivered to. I am called to what I do. We are called to what we do. This is not about investment strategy. This is not about 401ks or anything else. This is a calling to help kids and help our communities. It's a calling to give back what's been given to us, right? Because we all have stories to say. We all have stories to tell. It's a way to give back. And then everything else, right? Let's make sure the priorities are straight. Let's make sure we keep the priorities straight. For me, they got to be in this order. Because sometimes everything else gets in the way, right? And we have to kind of regroup and reground. So don't get me wrong. I love Clemson football, okay? I do. I'm just going to say, you'll find that out about me. I love playing music. I love eating out. I'm a food guy. I like food. I'm just going to tell you that. There's a lot of things I enjoy doing, but they can't get in the way of the other three. And that's what you need to know about me. So when we talk, or I see you, or you're talking to somebody else about me, you can hang your hat on that. That's what I'm about. My favorite motto: work hard, play hard. Right? Listen, you only go around once. Right? So I can promise you, you're going to get 150% from me every day. I can promise I'm going to do everything I can to resolve issues, to clear the path for you to help kids. So I'm going to be 150% with that. But I got to recharge my batteries, right? And it can't just happen in the summertime. Y'all got to take care of yourself. This is tough. Emotionally, it's draining. Physically, it's draining. Especially that first week we're back on our feet, right? Okay. So you got to take care of yourselves. So work hard, play hard. It doesn't matter what you play hard at. It's got to be something that's not work, right? Playing hard is not going home and doing work just because it's in a different setting. It's doing something that you enjoy and it makes you unplug, right? So I can work hard. That's me working with our principals. They know I've been working hard. They've been working hard too. But also, I can play hard, right? So remember that little 3.5-year-old? She's a little bit younger there, but I can certainly take time out to put her on a set of drums with me and unplug and make sure it's different. That's a shot of me out. I'm playing in Tybee Island, Georgia, at the Tybee Island Opera House for a big show that I was there at. I don't think about work when I'm playing. I can tell you that. That's one of the last shows I did. I was in Canton, Georgia. I was in Bristol, Tennessee a couple weeks ago. That was a 4th of July show in Canton, Georgia. So that's my play hard. Some people play golf, right? Some people knit. That's what I do. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Opportunity. There's the word again, right? There's the word again. So, going back to the questions, why do you do what you do? Why do you do what you do? So one of John Gordon's tasks that he has, and as a leadership team, senior leadership, we've been going through some PLC leadership training. PLCs, there's a word we're going to hear about in just a second. Our PLC is leadership. And one of those tasks is to come up with one word that defines you this year. Right? What's the one word that you're going to use to define who you are this year and what your year is about? And this is an exercise you can use for your work, and it's also an exercise you can use for your family. Right? What's the one word that you will use this year only to keep you centered and focused? All right? We talked about focus. Well, for me, it's opportunity. And look at this incredible, awesome opportunity I have to be in this incredible, awesome district with these incredible, awesome people doing incredible, awesome things for our kids. So that's my one word for the year, is opportunity. What am I going to do with the opportunity that's been given to me? Right? I've been blessed with this opportunity. What am I going to do with it? How am I going to handle that? Am I going to be responsible with it? Am I going to be caring towards it? And what am I going to do when I'm challenged about moving forward with this opportunity? So as all of us in this room, we have history that brought us here, right? We have history. And we have history that's positive and negative. And so you may be motivated by a very positive experience that happened to bring you where you are today. You may be motivated by a negative experience. But we all have those. And so the one thing I would like to say today is you never know who's in your classroom. Right? You never know who that child is, that little boy or girl or young man or young woman. You never know who that may be down the road. And so the one thing, the opportunity that you may have to change their life, don't waste it. So let me give you my story on that. When I was school-aged, I went to 3 different high schools in my high school years. And there were circumstances that were the cause of that. One of the big things that happened was I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. And if any of you all know about Louisville, Kentucky, back in the 70s, in 60s and 70s, pretty much the 70s is, they were one of the first large desegregation cases in the country. One of the largest school systems to desegregate. And there was the Louisville Public Schools and there was the Jefferson County Public Schools. My father worked for the Louisville Public Schools. I lived in the county, we lived in the county with the county public schools. And I can tell you it was a time of chaos in education. Kids were not at the forefront. I witnessed many riots, protests, just tearing apart communities, proud heritage, school heritage and history, just tearing them apart. Black and white, just tore them apart to try to put something together that they thought was right for kids. So my freshman year, I went to a school in the county. My sophomore year, they had a lottery system by letter that told you had to be bused. And so I was bused an hour and 15 minutes away for sophomore high school, couldn't drive, obviously, into downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Well, I was pretty excited about being able to do this because I was going to go to Central High School. And Central High School is where Muhammad Ali went to high school. And I was a Muhammad Ali fan, right? I know I may not look it, but he is one of my heroes and I wanted to be like him. And I thought if anything could rub off on me from Muhammad Ali, I'm there. Because I read so much about him in high school, and I was fascinated and in awe of who he was. And he wasn't just a boxer, as we all know. What I found out when I pulled up in a bus and rocks were getting thrown at it and bottles were getting thrown at it and sticks were getting thrown at it and there were angry adults outside. And I walked into the building and there weren't angry adults inside teaching. They were completely unplugged. You see, the adults couldn't handle what was going on to teach kids, because that was their job. They were supposed to teach kids. And so they tried to just keep order, and they tried to babysit. Now, you all know what it's like in your classrooms when you just try to keep order and babysit. Things get out of hand pretty quick, right? So that happened a lot. I can remember one of the situations, I had, let's see, it was actually, now this is interesting, it was African American studies taught by a Caucasian male, okay? And what I found out is it was that person that was teaching that class, not only did they not take their subject seriously, they didn't take their kids seriously. And they were one of those teachers that wanted to be the kids' best friends, right? Y'all know those teachers? Where, let me see if I can get the kids to like me so I'll feel better about myself. And so if I can get kids to feel better about me, let's see, what are some of the ways I can do that? Well, this teacher decided one of the ways he could get the kids to be his friends was to make fun of people. And so, as I came walking through the door one day, he decided he was going to make fun of what I was wearing. And what he didn't know is that in my life at that time, everything had been turned upside down. You see, I was going through family issues. I was going through all kinds of issues that nobody ever took the time to ask me, who are you and how are you, right? So this teacher that decided that they were going to get the rest of the class to laugh and be on their side starts to make fun of what I'm wearing. Well, as most of our high school people in this building know, or parents, if you embarrass a teenager in front of their peers, life gets difficult quickly, right? So life got difficult quickly, and I proceeded to make, of course, he chuckled and laughed, and the other kids in the class laughed at what I was wearing, and so I proceeded to talk about this gentleman's hair, and how it looked like Bozo the Clown, and how it was strung all over, and how half his brains appeared to be on the outside instead of the inside, because surely he wasn't thinking at that moment. Well, so that teacher did what most teachers do in that situation. Get out of my classroom and go to the office. All right? So I'm sitting there thinking, now wait a minute. It's okay for you to make fun of me and dog on me and embarrass me in front of all these people that I really don't know, but it's not okay to get it back, and you're going to pull the adult card and enforce things. So I did what most angry teenagers do at that moment. I picked up a desk and threw it. Now, I'm not proud of that. Today, I'm not proud of that. But I say it because none of that would have happened had the adult done the right thing in that situation. You see what I'm saying? It's all about, do you know your kids and what's going on at that moment? Fast forward. That left a big impression on me, by the way. Fast forward a couple years later. I moved. Again, I told you I had family stuff going on, had to move again. And I was in Athens, Georgia, and going, new start, new beginning, and started going to school. So, and in Athens, Georgia, in the 1980s, there was this sudden surge of music that was going on back then. So, some of y'all have heard of new wave music and alternative rock, REM, you know, some folks certain ages remember those names. But in Athens, Georgia, there was this huge music movement. And that's what I latched onto. Because, see, I had played drums since I was 5. My father had taught me. And so I learned that was the one thing I could do to escape. And that I didn't feel any pressure from it. It made me feel better about who I was. So I started playing music. And lo and behold, I started playing with a band that was making lots of money. And that was spending significant time out. Well, I was, at that time I was 16, and I was able to kind of manage things and play on weekends and keep up with my schoolwork. Well, senior year rolls around, and playing, getting bigger, larger, touring more, traveling around more. And truthfully, I was probably making as much money at that time as my teachers were. Because of the amount of travel that was going on and what was going on. And so for me, it was rewarding. But y'all, my high school education was important to me. And I desperately wanted to get my diploma. So I stayed, it was tough. Some nights I'd have 3 or 4 hours sleep, and I'd get up and I'd go to school. I stayed in there. I had B's and C's. I wasn't that A student then. I learned later how to be an A student, by the way. But then I was a BC student because I was working and I was having to take care of all these things. Well, I got called in the office one time by assistant principal. I remember her name. I never will forget it. Miss Fife. Miss Fife said, "Mr. Newman, you have missed many days. And I don't know if we're going to be able to let you graduate." I said, "Miss Fife, I don't understand. I got B's and C's in all my classes. What do I need to do?" She said, "Well, I don't know if there's anything you can do. I mean, I really I don't see why you want to do anything different. Because you're making money, you know, with your hands, kind of like the vocational kids. She called them vocational kids, right? And you're making money like laying brick and carpenter, and so I don't know if there's anything we can really help you with." I said, "Miss Fife, I want my high school diploma. It's important to me." "Well, yeah, I understand that, but I just don't think that's going to work out for you. And I don't think there's anything we have to help you with that." So, in the middle of my senior year, I was asked not to participate in high school anymore. I got to look at my board when I say this, because they chuckled when I used the term "asked not to participate." That's a really nice way of putting it, isn't it? Now, the adult could have done something different there. Realize it wasn't that I didn't care about school, and I didn't care about my grades, or I didn't care about being successful. I did. They didn't care. They didn't care that I wanted to be a high school graduate. So, you never know who's going to be in your class, right? You never know who that student is, because I can promise you both of those things motivated me. Fast forward another year, playing more music, traveling more, earning more money, my education, I couldn't get a diploma at that time, but I could get a GED, right? So I immediately started working on a GED. Within a month, I had passed that, beyond all that. I started taking night classes because, again, I had this emptiness from not finishing high school. I had this emptiness in me and this thirst to learn. And so I started taking night classes. Well, I was in there with, kids that were 3 or 4 years younger than me. It was a little intimidating. I started off in remedial math. Not remedial math, but remedial math. But I can tell you what, I made it to Calculus AB at Clemson University after that. I can promise you that. And I made A's and B's in calculus in that too. But I started remedial, and I had a fear of what I was getting in the midst of. And I remember I wrote a paper for one of my first assignments in an English class. And I had this adjunct teacher who wasn't a regular teacher, had a regular job, had a funny northern accent, but I liked him. And he was about kids. He was about people being successful. And I went to turn this paper in thinking, I'm going to probably not get past this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to school anymore because I got to get past this. How do I do this? And he walked up to me because he knew what was going on inside. See, he had talked to me. He knew what was going on inside of me. And he said, "Are you worried about your paper that you just did?" I said, "Yeah." I said, I don't know if I'm fit for this. I don't know if I can do this. And so he says to me, "Tim, you've got it. You have it. You can do anything you want to do. Anytime you want to do it, because you have it. Don't let anybody stop you or tell you anything different." From that moment on, Katie barred the door. Clemson University, here I come. Finance, economics. I got 5 degrees now. I'm not bragging about that. That's my emptiness that I had to fill. Because somebody told me I could not do it. Somebody told me that I wasn't worthy of graduating high school. Right? Which teacher are we going to be? Which ones are we going to tolerate in the culture in our buildings? Are we going to tolerate the ones that are about them and not kids? Or are we going to tolerate the ones that say, "I know about you, and you can do this. You can be successful at anything you choose to do. Let me help you." That's what it's about. And that's what drives me. So when you're talking to me about situations, you got to always remember, I'm always thinking about the kid. That doesn't mean I let things go by that are not right. Trust me. We got to have order. We got to have discipline. Kids need parameters. They'll tell you they don't, but they do. We know they do. But they got to be the right parameters. They got to be communicated in a way that kids know, okay, here's the expectation of what I have to do. Because if not, kids get frustrated and they lose hope. And we don't become the people they look up to anymore. So just know that's what drives me. There's a short clip that talks a little bit about people that think you can't do it all.
And to appreciate what we're talking about and kind of the tragedy of lost potential here, I like to give a little bit of a thought experiment. If we were to go 400 years into the past, to Western Europe, which even then was one of the more literate parts of the planet, you would see that about 15% of the population knew how to read. And I suspect that if you asked someone who did know how to read, say a member of the clergy, what percentage of the population do you think is even capable of reading? They might say, well, with a great education system, maybe 20 or 30%. But if you fast forward to today, we know that that prediction would have been wildly pessimistic, that it's pretty close to 100% of the population is capable of reading. But if I were to ask you a similar question, what percentage of the population do you think is capable of truly mastering calculus, or understanding organic chemistry, or being able to contribute to cancer research? A lot of y'all might say, well, with a great education system, maybe 20, 30%. But what if that estimate is just based on your own experience in a non-mastery framework, your own experience with yourself or observing your peers, where you're being pushed at this set pace through classes, accumulating all these gaps. Even when you got the A, that 95%, what was that 5% that you missed? And it keeps accumulating all the way that you get to a more advanced class, and all of a sudden you hit a wall and say, oh, I'm not meant to be a cancer researcher. I'm not meant to be a physicist. I'm not meant to be a mathematician. And I suspect that that actually is the case, but if you were allowed to be operating in a mastery framework, if you were allowed to really take agency over your learning, and when you get something wrong, embrace it, view that failure as a moment of learning, that number of the percent that could really master calculus or understand organic chemistry is actually a lot closer to 100%.
So again, what is the perception, right? Perception at one time was only a few people could read. The reality is everybody can read. The perception is only a finite number of kids understand STEM. The reality is any kid can. Any kid can. It's up to us to untap that. I have 4 pillars. If you get anything out of today, I want you to get these 4 pillars. Because this is what we're going to be about. We talk about culture, we're going to hang it on these 4 pillars. These 4 pillars won't change. As long as you and I are talking with each other, they'll always be here. We won't change them every year. Nothing's going to change with these. We'll have different goals each year, but these pillars will always be here. The first is community. When I talk about community, I talk about what are we doing to connect and serve each other and our communities. That's inside and out of our buildings, right? So inside, what are we doing to connect with each other, to learn how to help each other more, to learn how to support each other? Mr. Johnson asked all the new employees in the district to stand up. There was a large portion of people that stood up, right? They need help. They need support. They need us to help make it an easier transition for them. So what are we going to do in our buildings to connect more with each other? To learn how to collaborate more with each other, not just from a work standpoint, but from a social standpoint of, is everything okay? Is your family okay? Is there anything we can do for you? Right? Because a lot of times, there's people that work in our buildings, and we may say 3, 4 words the whole year to them. Right? Not on purpose, but because we haven't found a way to connect. So we've got to make sure that we're connecting internally. In our communities, what are we doing to tell our communities we do something other than call you when your child is in trouble? Because that's normally when they hear from us, right? Now we have to do that. But what's more important is if you set the tone up front to where we're interacting with our community in ways that have nothing to do with negative things about their kids, it's not so bad when we call them and say, I need to talk to you about an issue with your child. So what are we doing different to connect with our communities? Are we going out on Saturdays and handing water bottles out at the local grocery store or at the rec activities that are going on? Are we helping with Helping Hands and some of the different charities that we have? Are we giving our time as a faculty, as a community, helping a community, right? Because when people see us in that environment, they start trusting us. And we're not this wall that's only behind the school doors. So when I talk about community, number one pillar, you didn't see test scores there, you saw community. Let's make sure we're together. Let's make sure that we're united and that we're taking care of each other so we can take care of our kids and our communities, right? That's the first one. Second one, understanding our students. Ah, yes, here's where we get to a little bit of the test scores that we're talking about. With our students, academically, where are they today? You got a brand new year starting. You need to know where your new students are. You need to know, where do we want to go? What's their potential, right? And then how do we get there? Every student's potential is different in your building, right? So how we get there is going to be different for each student in your classes because they're all in different places, right? But it's up to us to figure out how do we get them there, right? When we talk about understanding our students, we talk about test scores, right? We need to talk about test scores because that's the one gauge that we have that we can compare everywhere else. Now, am I telling you that a student's test score is the only important thing about them? No. But I'm not going to stick my head in the sand and say test scores aren't important. They are. That's how we get judged. You all got the positive end of that a few years ago when you all had some really great test scores, right? So it's important to be able to gauge on a yearly basis. But y'all, let's not figure out that we're not doing the right thing for our kids until the end of the year test scores. Let's not wait till then, right? Let's do this on a daily basis. Let's do this on a weekly basis and a quarterly basis, so by the time we get to the end of the school year, we already know how our kids are doing. I don't need that one test score to tell me the success of that particular child because I've got all this other data to look at. What are the non-academic factors affecting the students? It's up to us to ask, right? We have to ask. We're so used to being an adult that we don't ask kids sometimes, what do they need? We've grown up. We don't know how to do that sometimes. But you need to think, again, what are the things that are affecting kids outside of the school day? Third pillar, technology tools. We just experienced an incredible Monday this week, didn't we? I think we should clap about that. It was a great experience. And as Mr. Morphus mentioned, it's been a great experience and something that the district is very proud of, right? It needs to be one of our pillars. But notice the difference here. It says technology tools, not technology, right? Because a lot of times people think that technology just, self-absorbs into children and makes them automatically smarter. And it doesn't. It's a tool. It doesn't replace you. It's not okay to put kids on computers so you don't have to do anything, right? That's not what it's about. It's about helping kids learn with technology because we know we can get them engaged with it, right? You don't have to work hard at that. Hey, if we can go online and do this together, will you work together in a small group and come up with a solution to this problem? They go at it. They'll do that. But if you say, okay, you finished all your work, go online and play that academic game, it's not going to work. We need to use it as a tool. I need you as teachers, not facilitating. I need you as teachers. You are coaches, you are mentors, you are teachers, and I need that to be your primary job, and we're going to use technology as a big part to engage our kids with it. Schoology, that's going to be the platform that we use. All of us are going to communicate together with our parents, with our students, and with us, okay? Learning management system. That's, the days of web pages are gone, right? Remember we used to have teacher web pages a few years ago and we had to spend hours putting those together? technology's moved past that. And so learning management system is where I, as a parent, can go in. I have 3 kids that go to 3 different schools. I log in. There's all my information for all 3 of my kids. And all the teacher information, their schedules, their calendars, their grades, it's all there. That's the space we need to be at. We've started with Schoology, but we've not really fully tapped into it, and we need to. It's going to make your job easier because parents won't be asking as many questions. Mastery Connect. Again, we've tapped into Mastery Connect, but we're not fully implementing. We need to make sure that pacing guides and curriculum and model units are there at your fingertips and at our new teachers' fingertips. Because you might be teaching a new subject this year you hadn't taught before. Where do you go? Right? Where it needs to be is electronically in Mastery Connect, to where when you pull up that curriculum, you've automatically got assessments that are tied to the standards. And you're able to monitor your students' progress on a daily and weekly basis. Because we need to be talking about data with our kids on a regular basis. And teachers collaborating on the kids that we have on a regular basis. Training. We just went through that on Monday. It can't be once a year, you all. It was a great day Monday, but it's got to be continuous to get this, to get the hang of this. My last pillar, weather the storms. When I came up with this one about a few years back, I thought, okay, weather the storms, that's a neat little term to say there. I didn't realize it was going to be literally weathering the storms. So 2 hurricanes and 1 huge flood later, I realized that weather the storms is a literal need, along with figuratively, right? Because when kids are when kids don't have power for a week and they can't take showers and they come back and we expect them to just plug in like nothing's happened, y'all, we can't do that. So we need to understand what's going on, but we need to weather the storms. We do. This is about taking care of each other. Listen, adversity is going to come left and right. There's always going to be the naysayers outside telling you that you're not doing your job, right? But we got to bond together. We can do this. We're good at it. We've done it a long time, and we know what our kids are about. So we have to be able to do this together. We've got to weather the storms. I like this definition of grit to kind of bring that point. The ability to work hard for a long period of time towards a goal, to persevere, overcome, and keep moving forward in the face of adversity, failure, rejection, and obstacles. That pretty much describe every day? It's a lot of my days, but you know what? I can do this with you all. If I've got you shoulder to shoulder with me, I can do this. And I promise you I'll be there with you doing the same. We're in this together. That's why everybody's here. I said, what do y'all do for your back to school? They said, well, we've done this, we've done that, we've done a few things here and there. I said, how about everybody being in the same place? And they said, well, we really haven't done that much. We might have done that a few years ago. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, who was your guest speaker? And they said, well, Manny Scott. And I went, oh, there's no pressure there. Just remember, I got my doctorate before Manny Scott did. All right? Because I've heard Manny speak several times. And he's really good. But if you all can't hear from me on how we're going to be successful, you got the wrong guy. Right? If I can't walk out here and get you excited about what's going on and what our goals are, you got the wrong guy. All right. Very quickly for focus, and Audrey, I think we may want to cue some folks up here in just a minute. We have 4, remember I said we'll change goals each year. There's 4 PD focus goals. And again, my pillars, if y'all notice, there were 2 academic pillars and there were 2 other pillars. So all my food service and custodians and maintenance folks, when we talk about community and we talk about weathering the storms, we fit into that too. This isn't just about teachers. This is the whole building, everybody. This is all of us, right? Listen, every single person in this room is vital to the success of what we do. So what I'm talking about here, this isn't just for one group, this is everybody. My first 2 goals will be based on academics, but my last 2, it's everybody in this room. Data teams. We are going with fidelity, we're going to implement data teams in every building on a regular basis, okay? We're going to talk about the assessments that we're doing for our kids. And we're going to talk about it vertically and horizontally so we can get a handle on what's really going on and we can get better at this. We're going to use benchmarks, we're going to use MAP, and we're going to use state testing. We're going to use all of that, not just one. Some of the new things that are coming up is that you're going to be hearing about an employee self-portal service, okay? You know how you all get those paper checks that say non-negotiable on them? Right? What good's a check that says non-negotiable? It's a waste of paper. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad we get a pay stub, but the non-negotiable piece of paper doesn't help me, right? We're spending money we don't need to be. We're trying to get more productive with this. We want to make sure that everybody's direct deposit and that we have an employee self-service portal where you can log in and look at all your pay stubs. You're going to get an email that says you just got paid. Instead of that pay stub, right? It's going to come electronically saying you just got paid. You can log into your portal, log in and look at it. Okay? If you want to know how many leave days you have left, which we're all going to have all of them by the end of the year, right? If you want to know how many days you've got left on leave, you can log into the portal service and see that. What we're trying to do is go electronic, get rid of the paper, make you able to be more in charge of what you're doing. So that comes up starting this week. You'll start hearing about that. Certification renewal, same thing, online. We want to be able to automate this as much as possible to where you can track it and see it and warehouse it in the same space. Kelly Services is new as far as substitutes that we're working with. We're desperately hoping that that takes care of a lot of our substitute needs. Nothing from the teacher standpoint will change because you've already been using ASOP. They use ASOP. We'll keep doing it the same way. But we're really hoping to build in capacity with filling our substitute vacancies. Hey, we've got 3 new schools in 3 of our communities coming up. We just had a bid passed. The board, thankfully, passed the price for the Darlington area elementary school. I'm excited. I mean, I told the people, said, "Do you want to talk about this on TV?" I said, "Yeah, I want to talk about it on TV. Look what our kids are getting. Look what our communities are getting. We're in buildings that are 40 or 50 or 60 years old, and you want to know if I want to talk about having new schools for kids, right? Right? So we need to be excited about that. We need to thank our board for taking those steps, but I got news for you. We can't stop there. We got to have a plan, not just for 3, but all of them. We can't just stop. I'm on a campus with 13 buildings. One of them was built in 1964. I've done my homework. I know it, okay? It's out there. We got to keep working. We got a 200-year-old building. It's awesome that it's 200 years old, but they don't build elementary schools that are 4 stories anymore. But we're going to celebrate with you this year, I promise you. Second focus, professional learning communities. Again, one of the many definitions, ongoing process in which educators work collaboratively and recurring cycles to collect inquiry and action research to achieve better results for the students they serve. Let me give it to you in simple terms. It's talking with each other about kids and subject and content areas and using the data from your data teams that you've already got so you're not doing duplicate work. It's using that information to say, hey, how is this particular student doing in your class? Because they're struggling in mine, and I don't know what to do for them. How can we make that work? That's what professional learning communities are. It's going to look different at Southside than it is at Hartsville High, right? Because the needs are different and the way the adults communicate are different. So at the high school levels, we're going to be very focused on block scheduling and making sure that we do professional learning and PD, professional development, on how we make that more robust of a system. Let me tell you something about block scheduling out of the gate. We have DCIT, right, in our district. Because of the change to block scheduling already, their enrollment is up 50%. Let's put that into numbers. You've got an incredible large amount of kids that are now able to experience something they could not experience before. That's what's right for kids, right? I mean, you've got to give kids opportunities. I'm a huge proponent on internships. The former district I was in, I worked with community members, and I worked with the Chamber of Commerce, and I worked with manufacturers. And we had kids, instead of having early release and late arrival, they went to work. They made $10 an hour. They got high school credit for doing it. And when they walked across the stage, they got a job with benefits, taking care of themselves. You can't do that unless you're on block schedule. You can't have a kid work half a day if there's not a half day there. So what's most important is what it's about for kids and the success of kids and the credits that they can earn and take to college. So those that want to go to four-year college, hey, walk out the door with 18 to 24 credits. I talked to a parent 2 days ago in my office. They're going to university. They said, they could be in, they're 2 classes shy of an incoming junior. Do you realize what that does financially for a family? Right? That's what we've got to focus on. And we can't leave any kid behind. Our IB kids, we need to push them as hard as we can absolutely push them because they're supposed to be the best. They need to be the best. But you know what? The kids that aren't going to four-year college, when they walk across the stage, we can't wash our hands from them and say it's not our responsibility. They're ours. They're ours. And it is our responsibility, because if not us, then who? Right? We talk about people leaving our communities. The best way to keep them here is plug them in with jobs that they can actually do. We have the business and manufacturing sector saying, we don't have enough people to fill jobs. And your kids don't have this, this, and this. Okay. What can we do together? How can we make this happen? We'll be glad to do this, this, and this. What can you do? Let's put this together so it actually makes a lot of sense and our kids don't leave, right? The ones that walk across the states, they've got a job, they're here, they're paying taxes. And the ones that do go off to college, you can't wait until they graduate from college to start talking to them about working in Hartsville, South Carolina, or Darlington, South Carolina, or Lamar, or Society Hill. You got to talk now. You got to establish those relationships with kids. That's great. You're going off to Clemson University, right? Or University of South Carolina, or South Carolina State, or Coastal Carolina, or College of Charleston, or don't hold. I can't recite them. We're glad you're going there, but you know what? We need you to come home. And we're going to come visit you when you're in college because we need you to come home. That's how we build back our communities. So please know these initiatives that we're starting, they're not flippant, I promise you. They're about kids and helping kids. And I know there's challenges. What job is there not challenges? Right? If I'm going to be challenged, I'd rather be at working with kids than doing something else. If I got to have challenges, at least let me be around kids. Because you know what? I get to sit in the cafeteria and say, how was your weekend? What's your favorite football team? Right? So the challenges will be there. They're going to be there no matter what. At the lower levels, we talk about the Fontes and Pinnell training and the kits that we're getting that are going to help our K through 3rd grades. Grades 3 through 8, we talk about unpacking the standards as well. And again, understanding how to sequentially lay out the school year so we know where we all are and everybody's on the same page. We've got to make that happen in these PLCs.
In the area of always on,
I'm going to roll by Jim Hemmerling for a second because I can make the point better. Our third focus, this is for everybody in this building. Everybody in this building, student mentors. Every student will have an adult other than their regular teacher with whom they are connected and grow. Think about that. Every adult that gets involved in a child's life gives you that much more chance to help them be successful or learn about something going on in their lives. So, my custodians, my cafeteria workers, my secretaries, we need you plugging in with our kids too. We need you meeting and talking to them, because they may say something to you that they won't say to their regular teacher. And it's okay, because as long as we're hearing it, it doesn't matter who hears it, right? So we have to be plugged in with our kids. This comes from the advisory time that we set up. One of the things, everybody's going, what are we doing with this 35-minute advisory time? We're putting kids with other adults. That's one of the biggest goals at the high school area. Kids are getting a chance to experience different people. If I'm struggling in math and I have this math teacher and for 35 or 30 minutes a day you're putting me with the best math teacher in the building, that's not bad for kids at all. That's what we need to be doing. And kids that may not need remedial help, well, let's teach them soft skills, right? Because that's what all our manufacturers are saying. Your kids don't have the ability to shake hands. They don't have people look in the eyes. They're on their phones all the time. Well, guess what? Let's teach them. I learned it at a part-time job. You probably did too. Their parents have all the part-time jobs now. They're not around. So we got to teach them. Mentor time at the lower grade levels. Again, having times just to spend an evening after school, during school period time, where they're getting a chance to interact with people. The last goal is increasing community. Again, for everybody in this room, every principal is going to be submitting a plan to me about how they are going to increase their interaction with their community outside of their building. Every principal will have that, and you all are part of this. They need your help because you can tell them things they don't know. But we are going to make sure we're interacting with our communities more. So that's the fourth goal that we have for this year. All right. Remember I said if you don't take anything else away from the day, educators are real big on acronyms, right? Like we all have these acronyms we keep coming up with every year. We all get confused. Something else comes along. So there's my acronym, CUTW, okay? Community, right? Right? Understanding our students, right? Technology tools, right? Weather the storms, right? There's our 4 pillars. Now, what's that an acronym for? Or Clemson University Tigers win. Is that possible? I had to come up with something. I had to come up with something for that. I don't know where that came from. I'm going to finish up on my part here by turning it over to another leader that I have a lot of respect for. It has nothing to do with the X's and O's. It has nothing to do with wins or losses. It has to do with building young men into successful men. You won't hear anything mentioned about the sport, but it just happens to be somebody at the White House that was talking a couple years ago.
I challenge y'all, as we all move on with our lives, to take those core values that we have at Clemson, take them with you. Take them with you. Continue to do the common things in your life in an uncommon way. Continue to be all in. Continue to apply best is the standard in everything you do. Be a person of excellence in everything you do. As a worker, as a husband, as a father, everything that you choose to do, put your heart into it. If you don't take anything else from this past year's season, you saw what can happen when you see a group of people come together and really put their heart into something. When you put your heart into something, you can make up that little extra. That little extra, because you go a little bit above and beyond. And that's what this team has done. So my prayer is that you guys will take this with you. And most of all, that you keep that windshield mentality that you've seen every single day that you've been at Clemson. I hope you'll take that windshield mentality with you, because no matter what's behind us, good or bad, in the rearview mirror, it's always about what's next. It's always about what's next, and the best truly is yet to come.
So again, the word opportunity. I want you to remember that. I want you to put it in place, how it affects you. And I want you to know who Tim Newman is, not Dr. Tim Newman, but who Tim Newman is, that is here ready to lead the charge, ready to work side by side with you, ready to make this a successful year, but more importantly, establish the culture for a successful organization going forward that cannot be stopped, and that people will know us for us. We don't compete with anybody. We're only worried about doing the best for us and taking care of our communities and kids. Thank you. We're going to send you off. If you'll have a seat, please. We're going to send you off with some inspiration from some of our students. We have the Phoenix Fame with us to make sure we're focused on kids. I can't wait to see you in your buildings. And please, this time, can we get some hand clapping going? We gotta liven this up some.